Rise and continue with some more reading. I just barely made it in time. All right. Let's see. Can see everything. It's a little bit windy. You hear a little bit of water. Some dogs barking. I do have my dogs with me this morning, so there is a chance that you will hear them making their noise. Okay. Semantics and body language. There are many books about nonverbal communication, popularly called body language, on the market today. Most of them, despite very interesting content and good intentions on the part of the authors, are either dangerously misleading or incomprehensibly technical. I am going to do my best to clarify the misunderstandings created by this situation as we go along. The three pieces of information about body language that you most urgently need to know right now are these. For American English, at least 90% of all emotional information and at least 65% of all information whatsoever is carried not by your words, but by the body language that goes with those words. Second one, the most powerful mechanism for body language is the voice. Excuse me. Its quality, its tone, and the intonation it gives to words and parts of words. The third one, there is a grammar of body language, just as there is a grammar of words and sentences. You know that grammar, although you have probably never taken a course in it. But most of this knowledge is stored in your memory in a way that gives you no convenient or reliable access to it. The best evidence for the power of body language and the power of the human voice comes from the drama departments of American colleges and universities, and it is well known to every one of us. In every drama program, students are expected to be able to take one or two words, "You monster," will do for an example, and say them in such a way that they express any and all of a long list of emotions: rage, love, terror, sexual desire, tenderness, admiration, and so on. These students are not Richard Burton or Meryl Streep. They are just ordinary people, often very young and inexperienced people. The fact that they can do this task routinely, and the fact that the other students watching them understand, without special instruction, which emotion is being expressed, are proof positive that the words you say are not what matters most. Both speakers and listeners are working from their grammar of nonverbal communication. All they need is practice. Here is the basic principle to remember. Any words, be they ever so flawless, can have their meaning canceled by body language, but not vice versa. There are no words capable of canceling the meaning transmitted by body language. This is very important, and it applies to almost everyone, with the exceptions being the truly great actors, such as Richard Burton or Meryl Streep. It's information that is critical to your success. And this brings up two interesting questions. Why weren't you taught this information in school, preferably elementary school? And why do you so rarely read about it or encounter it in the non print media? The answer is simple. The information is systematically, even doggedly suppressed. This is a conspiracy, yes, but it's a conspiracy in which we all take part. It's not malicious, and it's not sinister. At worst, it's laziness. At best, it's an attempt to protect ourselves. Think about that. It's really beautiful this morning. It's so quiet and peaceful. Think about it. Think about the real world consequences of the basic facts about body language. Think about the inconvenience they represent in practice, like the stunning facts in David Bodane's The Secret House, from which we learn about the sex lives of the millions of dust mites that share even the cleanest of our beds with us. These are things it would be pleasanter not to know. Pleasanter, but not safer. What we have here is a massive cultural conspiracy of neglect, an attempt to save ourselves trouble by ignoring a set of burdensome facts into oblivion. People are intrigued by the idea that if they learn to use some particular set of body language elements, including an effective and spellbinding voice, they will be able to manipulate other people and avoid being manipulated by other people. They will buy all sorts of books and tapes, go to all sorts of seminars and workshops to acquire such information. But they would be appalled by the logical and ethical implications of the same idea. And that is why it is so rarely mentioned in popular forums. I will be more than happy to state those implications explicitly here as follows. Because your nonverbal communication has powerful, real world effects on other people, effects that can literally cancel the words you say, you must take responsibility for your body language. If your body language were nothing more than a collection of random movements and noises over which you had no control, except the constraints of etiquette, it would be pointless to worry about it. But if your body language is powerful, in the same way that cars and chainsaws and scalpels and antibiotics are powerful, it becomes yet one more thing with which you have to be careful. One more thing you should not use unless you know what you are doing. This is exceedingly inconvenient. As a physician told Greg Easterbrook in Newsweek's January 1987 article on modern medicine, no way am I going to believe that makes a difference. We human beings want to believe that if we say the right words, we've done all that can be reasonably expected of us. Never mind how much this sounds like the standard party line for primitive magic. Just get your incantations right, and they'll always work. It's easy to improve our words. We can buy a good dictionary and a thesaurus. We can buy a computer program to increase and polish our vocabulary. We can take a quick course in usage and diction. But taking responsibility for getting our body language right, it doesn't sound easy. It sounds like a lot of hard work. Amen. I'm sorry. These facts will not go away, and they must be dealt with. You can't afford to waste your words by using them with body language that cancels their meaning and substitutes other messages you had not planned to transmit. But things are not nearly as bad as you might think. Body language improvement sounds hard, only because it is so unfamiliar. It isn't that hard to learn nonverbal communication skills, and the benefits of doing so will more than amply repay you for the time and energy you invest. We will return to this subject frequently throughout this book. For now, just remember this: the semantic content, the meaning conveyed by your body language is far more powerful than the meaning conveyed by your words. Now, the workout for chapter 3, this is the end of it, on page 47. It says, in 1, it says Time magazine for August 22nd, 1988, had a long special section titled The Republicans, written by Lawrence I. Barrett. Barrett describes 4 separate occasions on which reporters asked George Bush if he felt betrayed and were told that that was the wrong word for the situation. Here they are. A. Bush was allowed to go on representing Taiwan in the UN, while Kissinger and Nixon were making the secret deal with mainland China. Bush said, "No, I didn't feel betrayed. That is too strong of a word." B. Nixon repeatedly assured Bush during the Watergate mess that there was no cover up. Bush said, "I felt thoroughly disillusioned. Betrayal is a word I don't particularly use, but this wasn't right, and I've so stated many times." C. Bush was talking about how he felt after finding out that the White House tapes existed. He says, "I can remember standing down here in this building when I heard about the White House tapes and felt betrayed. It means that somebody owes me something, and I think it's broader than that." And the last one, D. Bush was asked if he felt betrayed when he learned of the secret arms sales to Iran. He said, "I don't think you ought to use the word betrayed. That shouldn't have happened." From his remarks and the context, can you determine how George Bush defines the word betray? What semantic features does he attach to it? And how do you think he weighs them? Would a semantic feature diagram for your own understanding of betray match his? 2. According to the medical literature, it's now scientifically possible for men to be pregnant, with delivery by cesarean section, of course. How do we handle this new development semantically? Do we change the semantic features on mother, dropping the plus female, because the mother's sexual gender no longer matters? Do we follow the men first practice in other areas of English grammar and change the feature to negative female or plus male, or what? Number 3. In Inc. for May 1986, introduced in the 1986 Inc. 100, edited by Stephen D. Solomon, the following anecdote about Erwin Sellinger's tenure at Squibb Corporation appeared. A company officer criticized Selinger for flying coach, cautioning him that corporate executives flew first class. That's a reality statement for the Squibb Corporation culture. Corporate executives fly first class. Can you list at least 20 such statements for your own business or organization? Number 4. Using semantic features and reality statements, make clear the differences in the meaning of the following words: kill, murder, assassinate. How about slay or terminate? Can you fit them into the set? Do all of these words mean cause someone to die? If so, why don't we say Lee Harvey Oswald caused John F. Kennedy to die? If you accidentally go off to your office with someone's prescription medication in your pocket and they die when they miss the dose, did you kill that person? Did you cause that person to die? Did you kill or slay or murder or assassinate or terminate the person. 5. For a detailed description of failure as perceived by someone who doesn't consider it part of a game in any way, read After the Fall, Overcoming Failure by Carol Hyatt and Linda Gottlieb on the February 1987 issue of Savvy Magazine, page 45 through 50 and page 79. It begins with the sentence, no matter how many times people tell you that in the long run you will be stronger, in the short run there are few things worse than failing. And 6. Here's another sentence about failure. Failure to find does not constitute malpractice. Failure to look almost always does. It comes from the Legal Rounds, edited by Gregory L. Henry in Emergency Medicine for July 15th of 1986. In this, the failure we've been looking at in this book or something else entirely. What semantic features would you need to define it? And the last one for that part, 7. Many people have pointed out that in America today, failure is a huge industry. When every single member of a class gets an A, we don't congratulate the instructor on a spectacular success. We accuse him or her of great inflation. When hospitals' beds are empty, we don't congratulate the doctors and nurses on a job well done. The better the healthcare providers function in terms of keeping people well, the more the hospital will be criticized for underutilization. Insurance is based on failure. You are told to buy it because you will get sick, you will have accidents, everything will break, or because you will get sick. Oh my lord, skipped a part. Or burned down or blown away, and you will be in the wrong place at the wrong time. On my campus, whether a student was a failure depended on how much money the legislature appropriated in a given semester to fund remedial classes. The failing test scores were adjusted each semester so that there would not be more failures than there were class slots. Like the way we define poor by setting a poverty line, add this information to your database on the word failure. Can you still define it? We got some sight bites here, and we're done with 3. Let's see. To find out what something means, find out what question it is the answer to. People can seriously misunderstand what it is they're not saying to each other. The common wisdom has long held that 4 out of 5 new businesses fail within 5 years. Once again, the common wisdom is wrong. As for the companies that don't make it, Kirchhoff is reluctant to call them failures, preferring the word exits instead. Failure, he maintains, is an inaccurate and loaded term. 4. I was surprised by how much the corporate world was turned on to the human potential possibility if I called it wellness. Number 5. The videotape catches many mannerisms and nuances. There is the dance of the eyes, seen most clearly in one-on-one bargaining. The American looks up, trying to establish direct eye contact, at which point the Japanese lowers his gaze, only to raise his eyes again when the American looks down at his notes. 6, the last one. Technology exists to enable men to give birth. The procedure would involve fertilizing a donated egg with sperm outside the body. The embryo would then be implanted into the mesentery of the bowel. A cesarean section would be required for delivery. And that's from the Professional Future of the OBGYN Clinician by Hugh R. Barber in The Female Patient for September of 1986, page 12. All right, I'm going to end this morning. Thank you for being with me and catching this full sunrise. I appreciate you listening. really a lot. Thank you so much. We go on with chapter 4, either here in a minute or next sunrise. It'll be language and the game domain, dividing up the world. Thank you.